Welcome to Caskets and Cocktails, Memoirs of a Cemetery Dude. Get ready for a hilarious dive into the world of death care where cemetery industry veteran Mr. Danny and his daughter Katie will answer all those crazy questions you've been dying to ask. Go ahead and pour yourself a drink, pull up a rocking chair, and get ready for some laughs because we guarantee Caskets and Cocktails will be the last ones to let you down.
Hey guys, welcome to Caskets and Cocktails. I'm Katie Leverett.
I'm Danny Faulkner. I'm her daddy.
And we have the coolest show today.
Yeah, it is pretty cool.
I cannot believe it. So we kind of teased it in our last show. We are going to be bringing on some of our friends to help us.
Yeah. In this particular episode, I mean, it's some big time stuff, I think.
Oh my gosh. I mean, we have a very special guest today. We have the education manager for Oakland Cemetery, which is just an amazing cemetery in downtown Atlanta. They are one of the top 9 things to do and see in the city, which is crazy.
Yeah, it is.
And Marcy is coming on, and I didn't know what an education director was.
I didn't know that you had to be educated to die. I thought it was a pretty basic thing, but evidently not.
Evidently not.
You got to study.
So, for those of you, we're going to be tagging them in some social media posts, so you guys are going to be able to see at home how absolutely stunning this historic cemetery is.
These people, they took, that cemetery had fallen on hard times. It was right in the heart of downtown Atlanta.
Yeah.
And they took this dog cemetery, if you will. And over the last probably 40 years, it is absolutely breathtaking.
It is. It is gorgeous. And there's even a bar right outside the gates that's called 6 Feet Under, and it has this amazing rooftop, and you can sit up at this bar, and you can take a look into the cemetery. It's just, the whole thing is really cool. If you like our show, you would definitely love taking a visit to this place.
Yeah, and you definitely love 6 Feet Under. I mean, good food, good beer, good times,
absolutely.
Good fun.
Absolutely. But, so, Daddy, question for you.
Uh-oh.
So, the grounds of this cemetery are just pristine.
Yes.
Tell me a story about you keeping grounds pristine.
First of all, we didn't. We had we had like 4 or 5 groundsmen doing 500 interments.
Oh, Jesus.
And mowing and maintaining like 140 acres.
Oh, my gosh.
And so
they were tired.
It was all we could do to mow the grass, and weed eat and all that sort of stuff. And it's because I didn't have any money. If I had money, we could have done that, but I didn't.
Yeah.
Some places like Oakland, or was I supposed to say the name of it?
Yeah, no, we said it already.
Okay. Some place like Oakland, they've got a lot of money and they got a lot of staff, huge staff.
I mean, they have an education manager.
Yeah. But I'll tell you a story about some of the ways we kept our cemeteries, especially our historic cemetery, to give apples to apples. My dad, your granddaddy, is a pyromaniac.
Oh my God.
He loves a good fire.
Oh my gosh.
There's nothing makes him happier than a good fire. Well, we had a section of our historic cemetery that was raised. It was like a 5-foot wall all around it, and it may have been 5 acres, something like that. It was a nice sized little section, It had oak trees. So it was beautiful in the summer, but not so much in the fall.
Yeah.
All of the leaves fell, and it's maybe shin deep in leaves and all this sort of stuff. So we were maintaining everything, and we said, well, guys, when you get a break today, get up there with your blowers, blow all the leaves off of Memorial, which was the name of that garden. And so they did, and they worked all day doing it, and it really looked good when they got through. And they trimmed it and all that sort of thing. And my dad, your grandfather, the aforementioned pyromaniac, is driving his car around the cemetery, and they blew it off of this 5-foot wall down into a ditch. Okay, which that wall was stone. It was a beautiful wall. And the ditch was even stone where they'd laid it back in, 1900 or
it sounds
1890
beautiful.
or something. It was a beautiful wall. And so Dad sees all these leaves, and he thought that, what good is a leaf pile without a match?
Oh, gosh. I know, this is not a good call.
So he throws a match out there. And these leaves,
just in the middle of the day.
Yeah.
There's people out there in the cemetery visiting. You might have a burial going on. He's like, today's the day.
Today's the day to fire this mother up. So he throws a match in there. And, as fires do, start slow and small. And so he's kind of looking at it. And
did he have like a watering hose with him?
No, he just had the idea of throwing a match in there. He's an ideas guy. So he throws this match in there, and so it starts slow and flaming and all this sort of stuff, and it starts spreading. Well, you see on cartoons or movies or something where somebody lights this like string of gunpowder, and it goes shh. That's what happened.
Oh, no.
The fire started kind of growing and growing. And then all of a sudden, it just started going in both directions at the same time.
Stop it.
All the way around.
Stop.
Well, this is in the winter, so all the grass is dry.
Oh, no.
So the flames get up higher than this 5-foot wall, and it lights
higher than the 5-foot wall?
Oh, yeah. The flames were up. And so he gets nervous at this point. And so he comes down and he starts yelling at all the guys, hey, come get rakes and, all this sort of stuff. So we were going to put them out with rakes.
With a rake?
Yeah.
Have you never seen a fire before? What kind of idea is that? Grab the rakes. There's a fire out there.
Well,
you don't see firefighters walking around with rakes.
No. And so they come up there. We're trying to beat this fire out. Well, it catches the grass afire, like I said. Well, this is an old garden, and it's full of upright markers, monuments, okay? Granite monuments. And so fires, as they do, produce smoke. Smoke produces ash and soot and all this stuff. So it turned all of the markers jet black with soot.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it just goes from like bad to worse. And so we had to call the fire department.
You choked. I got tickled.
we call the fire department, and they show up with all their big equipment, in this little one lane kind of cemetery environment. And
who called the fire department? You or Gran?
Secretary.
Oh, she was like, these yahoos do not have this under control. This is
somebody's
too much.
Gonna get hurt up here. And
thank God for her.
But she was thinking more like the fire would spread down to the office, and she'd have to get up all the pictures of her kids.
Yeah, she's like, I don't care if they burn.
Yeah. So she calls them. They show up, and they worked, I don't know, an hour or something like that.
Really?
Yeah, spraying.
It was like a forest fire.
It was a fire's fire. Yeah. And there's houses all around this cemetery. Couldn't you just see it spreading and burning down a subdivision?
Oh, my gosh.
So, anyway.
That's not what you want on the news. That's not the type of PR a cemetery needs.
Is that my grandma's grave over there? Anyway, so we get the fire put out. And, or we didn't. The fire department got the fire put out. And the classic event was the fire chief is there. They wear the white hats.
Okay, I didn't know that.
So he comes over and he goes, Mr. Faulkner, he said, now how do you think this fire started? And Daddy looked at him as innocent as a 3-year-old kid. He looked at me and said, "Oh, I got no idea in hell how it started." He said, "You didn't start it, did you?" He said, "Sir, I happened to be driving down the road and I saw the fire."
Oh my goodness.
And so, because he was afraid that they would bill us.
Oh yeah.
You know,
Oh yeah.
Here's for putting out your fire, you owe us $10,000 or whatever. So he was scared of that, so he lied through his
Oh
teeth.
my gosh. So now you know where I get it.
Yeah.
From when I was a teenager,
Oh, I know that. Yeah, you and your grandfather could stand flat-footed and look me in the eye and say, "No, I didn't do it." And I'd believe you. That's how stupid I was. I'd believe you. But anyway, we had to spend like 3 weeks scrubbing each monument, polishing them, getting them cleaned up and everything.
Oh my gosh.
It was after one match.
Yeah.
You know.
That's crazy. Do you think it was really one match, or do you think that's just what he told you?
No, he was a cigar smoker back then.
I remember.
So he would strike a match and light a cigar, and I'd never seen anybody could light a match like him. I mean, it would just flame on and on, and he could burn it down to his fingertips. You know.
I do remember that too.
So I'm sure it was just one match.
Oh
And,
man.
Oh man, it nearly burned down half of Chattanooga. Yeah,
Golly bum. Oh my goodness.
Looking back, it was hilarious.
Not at the time.
Not at the time.
Not
It was
at the time.
funny at all.
Well, guys, hopefully this never happened at Oakland Cemetery.
No, I don't think it ever
I
did.
doubt it, because it's a pretty pristine spot.
We have a different type of excitement in our old historic than they have. in theirs.
Exactly. Well, guys, hang on with us for just a second, and we're going to pull Marcy in for our awesome interview. I'm so excited. This is our first interview.
I'm excited too.
Okay, so hang on, guys. So, Daddy, do you know about Patreon?
No, tell me all about it.
All about it. So, Patreon is a way that our listeners who we love
We love them.
can support the show. We love doing the show.
I do.
I do too. And we want to do more of the show.
I get to spend time with you.
Aw,
Aw.
that's so sweet.
Aw.
Aw.
I've always wondered about that. But anyway.
But our new Patreon page is up, and for just $2, you can get exclusive access to content and ad-free versions of our episodes.
What if they pay $5?
Oh my gosh, it's going to blow your mind.
Oh man, I'm excited about this.
That's not in my bullets.
Oh.
But there is stuff out there for lots of different options.
Yeah.
So $2, $5, a bunch of other stuff out there. Go out, check it out today. And guess what?
What?
There's a super special surprise for our first 50 Patreons. So get out there and subscribe.
Now.
Well, welcome back, everybody. And Daddy, we have a very special guest today. I'm so excited about this.
Yeah, I'm really excited too. There's so much going on at her cemetery.
Oh my gosh, it is like really one of the most beautiful cemeteries. TripAdvisor ranks it number 9 thing to do in Atlanta. That's crazy.
Really?
There's so much to do in Atlanta. It is just a beautiful green space. And with that, why don't we just introduce Marcy? Welcome, Marcy.
Hello. Thank you so much for having me today.
We are so excited. Can you tell us what cemetery you're with and kind of a reason why it is so special that everyone falls in love with it?
Sure. So I work for Historic Oakland Cemetery, which is a 48-acre green space in downtown Atlanta. We are about a mile from the historic kind of center of Atlanta. And Oakland is just a beautiful Victorian garden cemetery. There are over 70,000 residents buried at Oakland, and we are still an active burial space.
I love how you just said that. I have never heard that described that way as residents. Have you, Dad?
Yeah, no, I haven't. That's great.
Yes, we call everybody buried here a resident because this is their eternal resting place. So they're with us for the long haul.
I know that if you are not buried in Oakland, then you are not famous. I know that.
There may be a few famous people buried outside of Oakland, but no, we have got a lot of well-known, Atlanta pioneers, builders, entrepreneurs, really notable Georgians buried and interred at Oakland. So a lot of stories to work with, a lot of history.
Yeah.
So tell us,
gorgeous.
who is... Oh my gosh, it is stunning. Do you have any go-to famous person that you think of, or who is your favorite resident, Marcy?
Ooh, oh my gosh, that's such a hard question of who is my favorite, but probably the most well-known names at Oakland, Margaret Mitchell, she's the author of Pulitzer Prize winning Gone with the Wind. She is probably the most visited resident at Oakland. People come from all over the world to come and see her final resting place. So Margaret Mitchell, Bobby Jones, the famous golfer, he founded Augusta National Golf Club where the Masters is played every year. And he just has people actually will bring little golf balls and they'll leave it at his gravesite just as kind of a, good luck charm, kind of leave an offering for Bobby Jones. And then also Maynard Jackson, who was the first Black mayor of Atlanta and of a major southern city. So he has a stunning monument in our North Public Grounds area. So I would say those three are kind of our most visited, but there are, thousands and thousands of other residents buried at Oakland. My favorite resident is probably, I would probably say Julia Collier Harris. Her and her husband won the Pulitzer Prize for Public Service Journalism in 1926. And she was just a writer. She, what an editor, a Georgia Woman of Achievement, just kind of a really awesome woman. So she has a great story and she is interred inside a very beautiful mausoleum at Oakland.
There are a lot of pretty mausoleums at Oakland.
We do have, I think we've got about, it's like 56 or 57 maybe at this point. I know we're building a new one right now.
Oh, wow.
Oh, how cool. Now, Marcy, your role, I just think it's the coolest thing. So you're the education manager for Oakland Cemetery. And Daddy, I don't know about you. Do you have an education manager at your cemeteries?
I don't even have an education.
So that is really the first time I have ever heard that title affiliated with a cemetery. So tell us about what you do, Marcy.
Sure. So my title is education manager, and I'm the first person that they've ever had in this role before, which is, very exciting. We have thousands of people come to Oakland every year, and Oakland is a cemetery, but it's also a city park. So it's free to enter into, but we do offer a number of tours and educational programs and special events for visitors. So I oversee our tour program, all of the school programs for local Atlanta students, homeschooled students, and kind of our ticketed educational programs. So we do a lot of really fun, different stuff here at the cemetery because, like I said, there's so many people buried here. There's so much history and different ways that folks can connect with the cemetery. So it doesn't matter if you're a history person, if you want to come in on the tours, we've got plenty of those. If you're a photographer, we offer photography workshops. If you are, interested in beer history, we have a tour just about early Atlanta brewing and saloons. So there's so much here to work with and so much to learn.
My wife and I went on a tour there.
All right.
When you had, I think it was like around Halloween or something.
Yeah.
Had different stops at different locations, and people from the theater was there portraying one of your residents. It was really, really a good experience.
Oh, I'm so glad you came out for that. That is our Capturing the Spirit of Oakland Halloween tours. That is it's our biggest special event of the year, our biggest fundraiser of the year. It is for 2 weekends in October, the last 2 weekends of October. We do evening tours of the cemetery, and usually our gates close at sunset just for security. So this is a rare opportunity to come into Oakland at night. And visitors will go on tours of the cemetery, and they'll stop at about 6 to 8 different places. And there we have actors and actresses who bring Oakland residents to life. And they do these like living history kind of museum theater performances. So you'll get to meet these residents in character. And it's such a great way to really kind of bring that history to life. And it's so much more than just having someone standing there. We've brought out historic cars in the past. We've had live animals. They kind of do up the gravesite almost like a movie set. So,
and then after that, you can go across the street to 6 feet under and get a beer.
Oh, absolutely! You've got to go to 6 feet under. That is, it's a great restaurant. They're right across the street from us.
I love how you know that, Daddy. I definitely have spent some time up on that rooftop myself. I didn't realize that my mom and dad had. I'm glad I didn't bump into you. That would have been awkward back in the day.
Yeah, right.
Well, Marcy, we just are in love with your cemetery. And one thing that Mr. Danny did mention, and I think everybody knows this from some conversations, he is a big gardener. He loves to garden. And tell us a little bit about the special stuff you have garden-wise.
Sure. So like I mentioned earlier, Oakland is a Victorian garden cemetery. So it looks, when you walk through the gates, you'll just be blown away by just the amount of trees and plants and foliage that are out. Our gardens team does a fantastic job of trying to maintain historic gardens and plant either native plants or something that would be historically appropriate for kind of this 19th century garden cemetery. But we have a working greenhouse on the grounds. It is it's kind of on the north side of the cemetery. The greenhouse, although it was placed in, I think, was it 2015 or 2016? The greenhouse is new. It was donated by the Buckhead Men's Garden Club, but it sits in a kind of a historic footprint of a greenhouse that was built in the early 20th century. So that greenhouse, that early 20th century greenhouse was dismantled in the 70s because of, storm damage and vandalism. And the space was just kind of open. But then a few years ago, the Buckhead Men's Garden Club donated their greenhouse, and, the Historic Oakland Foundation, which is the nonprofit that I work for, raised the funds to bring the greenhouse over and have it set up. So now this greenhouse it's beautiful, but it's also a working greenhouse. We do plant sales twice a year, once in the spring and then again in the fall. And it's a huge fundraiser for the foundation because all the special events and tours that we do go back.
I know Oakland had fallen on some hard times back in the 60s and 70s. And when the foundation got involved, it really started rallying and coming back. And you guys have done such a tremendous job building that back to what it was and even better.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you.
Well, Marcy, I cannot thank you enough for coming on. Is there anything else any last detail that you want to share with some of our listeners?
Sure. I would say if you are in Atlanta, whether you live there or just traveling through, come see Oakland. It is, again, it's free to walk in. If you want to take a tour, you can purchase tickets, but it is a beautiful cemetery and we do programming all year round. So, check our website. It's oaklandcemetery.com and you'll be able to find, all the different programs that we offer throughout the year. We do special programs. We have our Love Stories of Oakland tour that is all about, we offer that Valentine's Day weekend. We have different date nights throughout the year. We offer flashlight tours, these, photography workshops. There's so much. And especially in October, come by in October. We have a lot to see here.
Well, you guys do just a fabulous job.
Oh, well, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Marcy, for coming on. We are so excited that you were able to stop by today and share some about your gorgeous cemetery. And guys, we will be linking to them on social media, so you'll be able to go out and check out that cemetery as well. And guys, hang on, because we have a story for y'all that you're going to love. And thanks again, Marcy.
Oh, thank you so much, Katie and Danny.
Thank you, Marcy.
Have you ever wanted to start your own podcast just like we did over here at Caskets and Cocktails? You can do it yourself. Go to anchor.com. It's free, it's easy, it's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. You can record and edit. They'll distribute your podcast everywhere. You can make money from your podcast. So download the Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started today. So that was awesome.
That was awesome.
Oh my goodness.
That's an incredible place.
It's an incredible place.
It really is. It really is. And if you live in Atlanta, if you're passing through Atlanta, if you're within 3 hours of Atlanta, it's worth your while to drive to Atlanta and go through Oakland Cemetery. It is absolutely gorgeous. Maybe they'll take you through the greenhouse and show you all their plantings. Afterwards, you can go across the street and have a beer and a hamburger.
Yeah, that's good.
I promise you, you will not run into one of the gardens blazing fire like my cemetery.
That's a good promise.
Yeah, I can pretty well guarantee that one.
That's one of those things you definitely don't want to run into when you're in a cemetery. A blazing fire. Actually, I don't want to run into that anywhere.
No,
I'm going to just lay that out. That's not for me.
No, if you see one, avoid it.
And you know what? I'm going to keep a real close eye on grandpants next time we hang out.
Yeah. See, you have no lighters, do you?
Yeah, I'm not inviting him over in the fall. That's for sure.
No, he sees a pile of leaves, he starts getting antsy.
Well, guys, thank you so much for the support of this show. I mean, we keep growing and growing.
I know.
We're close to, with all of our social media combined, we're 9,000 followers. So we have a lot of followers, and we appreciate each and every one of you. And if you have a second, if you love us, go out and review us.
Wait a minute. This always used to work for me when I was in high school. Okay. We love you. The girls in high school took to that.
I don't need to know anything about that.
It was, the best I remember. It was a long time ago.
That is hilarious.
Well, we love you. You love us, okay?
Yeah, and I want to read you this one hilarious this hilarious review. So this is from Squid Jerky 2000.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Not Squid Jerky.
I love Mr. Danny.
Oh.
And it says, y'all always got me looking crazy while driving at work. I laugh so much sometimes I think they're going to drug test me. And if they do, that's all right. I'll pass. I'll recommend this podcast and bet they'll get tested too. So I love that review.
Yeah, I did too. Squid Jerky. I love you too.
Yeah. Good. Thank you, Squid Jerky.
You're either my homie or my buddy.
Yeah.
One or the other.
Exactly.
Or
So
both.
be sure to go out there and review us. You might get a shout out from Mr. Danny.
Yeah.
We also tag a lot of stuff on social media. So feel free to tag us because we would love to be a part of your social media world as well.
Well, I would get a little creepy by saying I love to get tagged.
Ew.
But I'm not going to do that.
I mean,
It's a kind of a family show.
This is like the second creepy thing in like the 3 minutes we've been on.
Oh, well, I should try harder then.
It should have been more, one per minute.
Exactly.
Well, guys, again, thank you so much. And we actually have started something kind of new for us.
Yes.
Patreon.
Uh-huh.
I've never done it before, but we have a ton of folks who are out there supporting us, and we appreciate it. And guess what? Right now, I think we're going to play a commercial about it.
Okay,
but
that's great.
We have a great, really exciting, cool thing that is coming up.
Yes.
We're not supposed to tell.
Okay, is it a secret?
Well, maybe we'll tell.
You told me.
Okay.
You know, if you tell me, I'll tell everybody.
If you are one of our first 50 Patreon supporters, it doesn't matter what level.
No.
But if you are one of the top 50, you are going to get an exclusive invite to a Skype cocktail party with me and Mr. Danny. So you're going to have a chance to have a cocktail with us, virtually have a cocktail with us. Mr. Danny's going to tell a story that you guys haven't heard on the podcast before. So this is a new story. You're going to be able to see us. We're going to get to see you. You guys are going to get to ask questions. And it's just going to be like a fun cocktail party. I'm excited.
You can.
I'm going to get dressed up. I'm going to put on makeup. Yeah.
Wow.
Look at that.
Wow, people will start coming over here then.
No, I'm not doing that.
Okay, don't give them your address.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, you can tell whether or not we're real drinkers or not, because it's Skype. It's like a video kind of thing.
Oh, it's happening. It's going down.
I'm digging this. This is great.
Well, we are excited, and we hope you guys are too. So be sure that you qualify to be one of the first 50. We're already like almost halfway there, which I'm excited just in a couple of days. So hopefully when you hear this, you'll rush out.
Hey, what if we did that like once a month or something?
We might be.
Oh, man.
It's going to be a secret. It was supposed to be a secret.
Don't tell anybody. Please don't tell our agent. He gets pissed off.
Well, guys, thank you so much. And remember, we'll be the last ones to let you down.